Alright guys, so my next step is I'm going to waterproof the Caravan. So I found a few leaks, not too many, and I'm going to silicone those all up, and then I'm going to waterproof membrane paint the top of the roof too to give it some more waterproofing, put new roofing in, put new walls in and everything. Alright. So on this video we're getting straight back into the Caravan renovation, and again I just want to apologize deeply for my skills of filming at this point. They are shocking, but I do get better. Anyway, what we are doing here is we are waterproof membraning the walls. So any walls that weren't already water damaged, I'm just trying to seal. And I'd also got up on the roof before and found all the spots where the leaks had come from previously and caused the water damage, and I fixed those all up with silicone. As you can see, I've done all the edges. So now I'm going to get the roller and do the rest of it. So this is the membrane waterproof paint. So hopefully just keep the water out, because I did find those few drips, but I did silicone them up. So fingers crossed. As you can see, I'm extremely lucky to have Django to help with the filming, but she actually is a really good girl. She is a rescue dog, so she is scared of a lot of things. So in the Caravan, the gum nuts always fall on the top, so that does terrify her a little bit, but she's fantastic. So anyway, I'm basically just painting up all these walls, maybe protecting them from the water. I'm not too sure at this point, but hey, nothing's got in since I've done it. So, and there was pretty heavy rain during the winter, so I'm pretty sure I've done a good job. Okay, I've finished all the waterproofing membrane on this side, all on the ground there, all around. I'll give you a proper look. It is freezing. It was like 2 degrees this morning, and I've just moved from Kununurra where it doesn't drop below 20 like ever. So I've got layers upon layers upon layers, but I'm just gonna get started today by taking the vinyl out of this area. I think I'm just gonna redo all the floors in here. So I'll take the vinyl out the middle, and then in this section over here I'm gonna put some cement fibre flooring down for the laundry and bathroom, and then over this side we'll put some pallet wood flooring. So I ripped up all the vinyl because in this section I wanted to put a recycled toy box that I ripped apart and got all the boards apart really nicely for. Alright, so I've pulled out the vinyl, so I might get out the angle grinder and get out these screws that couldn't come out because they were all rusted. Then I'll vacuum up a little bit and put another coat of waterproof membrane down on this, and then I'll be able to put my flooring down. Alright guys, all finished with the membrane. I just want to show you too my little helper, Django, who constantly sits just outside the door there, waiting for me to throw something for her. Cute! Whoa! Okay, so little tip, if you would like to do anything cheap on a budget, and you're thinking, I do not have the money to do this, there is always a way. And I always go onto Marketplace. Marketplace is a crazy amazing place for things that people just want to get rid of for free because they don't know what to do with it. They want it gone. So it's perfectly good stuff in great condition, just like all this MDF board and cement board that I got. All it cost me is the fuel, and I was able to renovate a whole Caravan with it. I will say though, I do think this MDF was a bit thick, which isn't a huge hassle. I'm not taking her on the road or anything, and it was my first go, and I was trying to do it fast just to have somewhere to live, but it should be 3 mil or under. And don't be like me, always tie up your hair. Okay, so it started pissing down with rain when I was outside cutting the plywood, so I'm just going to start putting it down inside. I'll start by putting cement fibre floor down, and then I'll start with the plywood floors and then the walls. I just love looking back on these videos because I find it so funny. If anybody knows me, they know that my mood changes drastically with the seasons, so they call me like a lizard. So if it's cold, I really am like in a down mood, like I'm just not having a good time. But if it's sunny and bright, I am so happy, like filled with joy. But
right now in these videos it's winter and I'm speaking in summer now, so you can tell there's definitely a different vibe and I can definitely see it looking back. But look at her, she's cold.
Wow, so I really should have placed them more carefully inside when it started to rain, because I cannot for the life of me remember where everything is meant to go. So I'm just gonna roll with it and hopefully I get it right.
So all I'm doing now is just securing these subfloors to the Caravan base, and that is with liquid nails and screws. Now you usually, because I'm going to be putting flooring, like wooden flooring as well on top of this, you usually wouldn't put this much weight in a Caravan that's going to be moving. I'm putting a lot of wood into it, a lot of weight. You really shouldn't be doing that like in a normal Caravan that you want to drive around, unless you've got a monster ass car, because that's a lot of weight to tow around. You're going to be chewing a lot of fuel. This Caravan is not going to be moving. It's always going to be staying in the same spot. So that's why I'm putting so much weight into it.
Okay, so I've liquid nailed all the subfloors down. So we've got the cement fibre where the laundry and bathroom is going to be, and then we just got plywood where the dining kind of couch area is going to be, and I'm just going to silicone in between now, just for some extra.
Like I said before, I had no experience at this point, and I still don't have much at all except for what I've taught myself. So you would usually use a filler. I just was using silicone because I knew I wanted to fill the holes. Okay, so now I'm just securing these MDF sub walls to the Caravan frame. Now, the biggest thing you just have to remember with this is to screw them into the actual frame. So make sure you know where the frame is and don't just screw thin air, basically. Make sure it's got a good grip on there. And basically cutting a straight line. I just didn't know little tricks like which side to cut on, or like where to cut exactly as you're using the jigsaw. So it took me a few goes of like being just out and not knowing how and all this kind of stuff. Lucky I had a lot of MDF. But yeah, so you kind of pick up all those things on the way, and that's why I'm huge on experience. I think there's so much value in hands-on experience and just getting out there and doing it. Okay, so here I'm just doing the exact same as I did with the MDF on the walls with the cement fibre. So I'm not sure if I should have done this before or after the framing, but I've done it before and it worked. And it's a wet area, so that's why I've used cement fibre and not MDF.
Hey guys, so I'm getting there. It's bloody freezing though, so everything's hurting a bit. But I'm slowly getting the shower section in, so all the cement fibre, flooring and walling and siliconing it all in place, and then I'm going to give it another layer of waterproof membrane just to be safe. So yes, wish me luck.
Okay, so everything's looking a bit dodgy now, but just remember these are just the sub floors and sub walls, sub being the main word there. So there is stuff going over the top. So I'm basically just wanting everything to be level and smooth.
Alrighty, so I'm just finishing up the shower area, but I have run out of silicone and it's Sunday, so the hardware store is not open, but I'll head down tomorrow and grab some because I'm in the middle of nowhere, that's a factor. But I'm going to start waterproof membraning this, which is so much fun. So let's do it.
Okay, so I'm using like a lot of waterproof membrane, and I'm pretty sure you definitely don't have to use this much. So I think it was, these tubs, like, I'm going to say they're like 5 litres or something, and I maybe used 2 or 3 of them, but I went thick coats. Like I said, I was just going over the top with trying to get everything waterproofed because it was winter at the time. It was like my number one priority. I was like, yep, there's rain everywhere. Don't want it in here. Don't want stuff wet. Let's get this done. And so I don't think you need this much. I think I was being very excessive.
Okay, I've waterproofed all the cement fibre and all up here as well. I didn't use a roller brush because I found it was soaking up so much of the membrane that I was losing a lot. And then if you can see the difference on the walls, that's where I rolled it and it just seems a lot thinner. And I just wanted a really thick coat for the bathroom to just be as safe as possible So I might move on and do the rest of the floor and the other wall.
So like I said, I'm really just going to town here. This isn't a wet area, so I'm pretty sure you don't need this on the walls. So save yourself some money there and just use it in the wet areas.
Finally! Alright, I finished with the waterproofing membrane. Not forever, but for now, before I put the walls up and everything. So next step, everything needs to dry. Then we'll go in and start framing, putting some walls in for the ensuite and laundry, painting walls white, adding pallet floors, all that, lots to go. Hey guys, so yesterday or last night I did all the roofs, painted them with their first coat, but it was a bit too dark to film. So this morning I'm going to do the walls and the floors with their coat as well. So we'll see how we go, but my wrist is killing me, so.
Look, I'm not entirely sure why I felt it necessary to do an undercoat of white paint now, but I think it was just because I had the paint, because I got it for free. And possibly because I wanted to stop looking at grey. That would make sense.
Okay, so you're probably wondering why this paint is so liquidy, and that's because it's secondhand paint off Marketplace. So I've been trying to recycle with everything that I've been doing, and so grabbing things for free off Marketplace or really cheap. This paint was one of them. Obviously it's very thin, but I thought I might as well do the bottom coat with it, and it's worked alright for that, but I definitely will be using a different paint to do the top coat.
So there I am, unnecessarily painting everything.
Alright, so I finished with the white floors and walls. Very messy, but that's alright. Probably should pick some paint clothes. Alright, we'll see how many more walls we can get done before I have to go.
But see, doesn't the white make it so much more brighter? Like, my camera can't even handle it. That's how much better it is. So much more light. Love it.
Finally heading off. I've been doing 13-hour days for like 4 days straight, and it's been hard. My wrist is absolutely killing me. I'm just going to go take the cord out of my neighbour's meter box. He said I can use it while I'm working on Caravan, which is really nice of him. But I'm really pleased with what I've got done. Like, got all the walls up, all the floors in, all the cement fibre, put coats of waterproof membrane down, first coats of white paint. So it's looking really, really good. Got all the cupboards down.